Well, we finally know when that vote is going to be taking place. Nancy Pelosi confirming some of the earlier reports from this morning that the vote will indeed be taking place on Wednesday, a vote that will name the impeachment trial managers, because that's really the next big step. We need to know who those managers will be before moving on to the trial. It is expected, of course, that among those managers for the Democrats will be Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff, the two big figures of the impeachment process on the House side. So we'll find out who these managers will be, and that will trigger the transfer to the Senate. We should be seeing, though we don't know exactly what the timing will be for that. After that vote, they will physically transfer those articles of impeachment through Congress all the way to the other side, to the Senate side, where those articles will be read out loud. That is technically supposed to be the process, but everything is really up in the air because, of course, this doesn't happen that often. And so all the details are still a little bit murky, but the Senate should be taking up that impeachment the next day, so probably on Thursday. That doesn't mean, though, that the actual trial part will be starting on Thursday. It probably will be starting next week after the federal holiday, Martin Luther King Day, which is next Monday, because you have to swear in the senators, you have to present the managers. There's a lot of housekeeping to do, even physical. You need to set up the tables, the rooms. All of that takes a lot of time, and so we should be seeing the trial part really kicking off next week.
And then it's, what, 6 weeks of nothing else but Donald Trump's trial?
Well, we don't know exactly, because it depends who you're asking. Of course, the Republicans are hoping to keep this trial very, very short. Some are even trying to talk about a couple of weeks. It looks like that should not be happening, possibly as long as 6 weeks or even more. But that's really depending on what the Republican leadership in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, the first one of them, will decide to do. It seems that they're moving away from the idea prompted by the president himself of completely dismissing the trial, which would have ended things next week. But then it's a question of whether there will be witnesses. That's the big question in the Senate. When we're seeing are a few Republican senators now openly saying that they want witnesses to come forward. And if they really follow through, that means that the Democrats have enough Republicans voting with them to call for those witnesses, including, of course, John Bolton, because you need just a simple majority to get those witnesses to come. And that will be enough if the Democrats can get 4 Republican senators to vote with them.
Ketevan, later in Des Moines, Iowa, you'll have a Democratic candidates debate. The Iowa caucuses are February the 3rd. Half of the 6 candidates on stage are U.S. senators. Does that mean it's the last time we'll see them on the campaign trail for a while?
Yes, and that's pretty much why this vote to name those managers is taking place tomorrow, because they really wanted to have enough time to bring back those senators to Washington. But yes, technically, that's the last time we'll see them actively campaigning in Iowa, because the senators will be stuck in Washington, D.C. 6 days a week until the Senate actually votes on removing or not removing Donald Trump. And that means that Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Amy Klobuchar, as well as Michael Bennet will all have to stay in Washington. Of course, their staff, their surrogates will continue to campaign in Iowa for those final 3 weeks. But physically, the stars, the candidates themselves would have a lot of problems being close with the voters in Iowa before that caucus on February 3rd, while, of course, Joe Biden or Pete Buttigieg, for example, will have plenty of time to actively campaign. That said, Joe Biden will be still, his name will be all over the airwaves, because, of course, the Senate trial will bring back talk of Ukraine, will bring back talk of Burisma. of Hunter Biden and therefore of Joe Biden. So it's still hard to say whether Joe Biden will really benefit or not benefit from the Senate trial taking place right now.